Wouldn't it be nice if you could fix your entire life in one day? You could start all of these habits and you could quit all of the bad ones, and then your life would no longer, from that point on, you would forever build those habits and you would never fall back into bad habits. It would be an instant change and it would be easy right from the start. Maybe that would be nice. I don't know. I've never done it before. But I am here to tell you that it is, in my own experience, not possible. And there is a new habit I have started recently, and I've gone through that process of starting a habit and, seeing the benefits of it and, changing these routines that I used to be in. And so I started this challenge. It's called the 75 Hard. I've mentioned that a couple times on the podcast. And before this challenge, I almost never went outside, like probably averaging 5 minutes of time outside per day. But one of the requirements of the challenge is that you have to work out 2 times a day, and one of them has to be outside. And so I'm thinking, and if I'm going to be outside every day, it's going to be beneficial. It's going to, help me have more clarity of mind. But what I liked to do when I went outside is I would always have headphones in, and when I was driving, I would have music on, and I was always consuming something. And so I was looking forward to this time to just be outdoors and to, connect or disconnect, I think is a better way to put it. And it's because I was always tuned into something. My headphones were going, music was playing, there was always something going on so that I could be distracted. I was in a constant state of distracting. And so I made this rule for myself because I was guessing it would be beneficial, of when I'm doing my outdoor workouts, my outside workouts, I can have no music on, and I just have to go not verbatim, that's not the right term. Cold turkey? Yeah, cold turkey I think is what we're looking for. And so I gotta go cold turkey, no headphones, no nothing, and I just gotta walk and enjoy the silence. I can talk to myself, I can think to myself, I can sing if I want. I do that a little bit. And there's no music. Coming from a place of every time I went outside, there was always something in my ear, to just nothing. It was uncomfortable the first couple of days. But it was interesting, the shift that started to happen, because I also made a conscious shift that when I would be driving, would not listen to music either, at least not as much. I listen to some now. Yeah, I still listen to some music, but not to the degree that I did before. Around the house, I used to always have headphones on playing something. And I realized what was happening is, if there's always someone in my ear, if there's always something in my ear, then I'm not going to have time to think. I'm not going to have time to develop my opinions. I'm not going to have time to develop my beliefs. So I was just on this track of people tell me what's up, and they tell me what's going on, and I start getting these ideologies, which may not be bad, but other people's beliefs instilled into me, which they could be beneficial, but I want to know, what do I actually think about this thing? For the longest time, constantly it was business podcasts and stuff like that. And I would write on my journals, I would write Samuel Law, future billionaire. And that was my main desire, because that was kind of what I was told to want, is, hey, you want the money. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a billionaire. And I was like, oh, I want the house, and I want the car, and all of the nice clothes, and, I'm going to have all my 37 butlers or whatever. And that was kind of my desire for a while, was to be a billionaire. then as I started doing this challenge and, actually getting time to think to myself, I realized that's not what I want. Like, that's not the core desire of my heart, to just have a ton of money. I don't see the value in that. And I realized after consistently spending time with myself that what I wanted is, to eventually have a family of my own, and to eventually, grow a family that loves God and serves Him. And I want to love God and serve Him. And that's really what I want at the core. But I didn't realize that until I actually took some time to be quiet. And there's another aspect of the challenge, that you have to read 10 pages a day. And I made the decision to read a religious text, the Book of Mormon, every day, 10 pages. And I actually had to restart the challenge a couple times. And so I'm going to be able to read a lot more religious text. But that spending 40 minutes a day of just reading scripture, it has been so interesting to me to see how much my desires have gone from the worldly things to seeing that, I love this and I love what is taught in this book. But it didn't happen before. I always thought, I need to make these changes. I need to spend more time outside. I need to spend more time with myself. But I didn't do it. And the 75 Hard Challenge was a forcing function. Is, hey, you got to do these things. And so then I did them. It was a little bit uncomfortable, I would say, at first, because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to being outside. I wasn't used to being with myself. I had become accustomed to constant stimulation and constant noise, trying to distract myself from myself. But then over time, I got higher clarity of values and what is important to me. I got a higher, I noticed I started gravitating towards silence. I would be in the car listening to music and I would think, wait, I don't actually want to have something on right now. And I would turn it off and I'll just drive quietly. And then, from the reading, I'm developing a love of literature. I would never have considered myself a reader before. But now, I spend 10 pages a day in a religious text. I would not have seen myself there. And so, you're probably someone who doesn't spend enough time in silence. You're probably someone who needs to spend more time outside, and that you need to just have that time to be with yourself and learn what you think, learn what you care about. And so it's kind of boring at first, but you will I grew to love it. I imagine you will as well. So that is my recommendation to you, is that you make a conscious shift to spend a little bit more time than is comfortable outside every day. So if 10 minutes is easy, do like 30 or something. And it's going to change your life. It's just being silent.